Back for another segment of the High School Sports Page brought to you by the Burns Insurance Group. We're going to take a look now at 1A and 2A polls. My 1A poll shows Union City #1 after a big win over West Carroll. Dresden #2. They play on the turf at Union City this coming Friday night, and Terry, I plan on being there. It should be a dandy.
Shall be going with you, Murphy.
Dresden has an extra week to prepare for Union, or had an extra week to prepare for Union City. Nashville Christian also had an open date. Wayne County and Huntingdon also had big wins. By the way, Terry, Wayne County and Huntingdon meet next week in Waynesboro.
Sure do, Murphy. In the Mid-State, no change. Columbia Academy, also Wayne County, Huntington, Joe Burns all had big wins. And Nashville Christian had the open date. They stay at #2. And next week, as you mentioned, Wayne County, Huntington, that's a big-time showdown in 6-1A.
Talked to Ricky Rice today, and he tried to downplay their chances in that ball game. I think it'll be a good one. In 2A, everyone in my 2A poll won last week, except Dresden. They dropped a game to 4A, Memphis East. That was pretty much expected. Adamsville, Marion County, and Hampton all with big wins. They all move up a notch after Dresden's loss. Forest, a 30-point winner over East Robertson, moves into the #5 spot after Dresden's loss.
Mid-State, no change. Waverly and Forest both had big wins, and the Purple Tigers of Watertown stayed #3 after they had an open date last week. And Murphy, we're glad to have Coach Dennis Goodwin of DCA with us tonight. Coach, welcome in.
Thank you very much.
Now you had, of course, you had a bye this past week, but game before that, a big time win over Knoxville Webb, and I would say one of the best wins maybe in your career since you've been at DCA. And we understand, we were talking about this before the show, 15, maybe 16 years since a DCA team beat Webb. 17. Okay. We were close, weren't we?
That's right. That's right. Well, and we didn't start playing regularly until 2009, but it was a big win for our team, obviously, and it couldn't come at a better time for us this year. Webb has dominated our district and really our classification, so it was a significant win, and I was really proud of our effort by our kids.
3 straight state titles by the Spartans. That's pretty much domination.
That's domination. Yeah. 5 out of the last 6, so they've dominated.
You're 2-0 right now. The only team in your league without a league loss, I believe. But depending on what happens Friday night at Friendship, if Coach McNeil's team pulls the upset and defeats your Wildcats, all of a sudden you got a 3-way tie for first place.
Well, I don't see any upset there at all. I think we're the underdog, but Friendship is a very talented team. A break here and there in the games they've lost, they could very easily be undefeated. You know, our win is put our destiny in our hands. So our kids understand that we have a difficult task ahead of us on Friday.
Sounds like Coach speak to me.
Yeah. Coach, you've had some one-sided wins, and you've been on the other side of a few one-sided wins this season. And I did some numbers. 24 points has been the average margin in every game you played, and that includes when you factor in Knoxville Webb's 3-point win that you had. Needless to say, on Friday nights, you've had some heart-stopping moments, I would think.
Well, we have, and we've been on extreme sides on both of them the last 2 weeks, actually. And so, you know, we try to emphasize to our players that you got to play 48 minutes, sometimes longer, and I feel like we're battle tested. We've had some great game experience against quality teams, so hopefully that's going to help us down the road.
Dennis, I've seen your kids literally grow up at DCA, from toddlers to young adults. You've been there 20-plus years. I wasn't real sure. You told me before the show tonight you came to Nashville to come to school at Trevecca.
That's right.
And just never left Nashville. But Donaldson Christian's been very good to you and your family. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I probably should have prepped you for this. But in 20-plus years, are there 2 or 3 things that just maybe always come out when people talk about what's been most memorable at DCA?
Well, you know, a lot of people will bring up our fortunate to be able to win championships, but for me, it's about relationships and that we've able to have over the year. Now we're having second generation players coming through, and for us, we want our players to have lifelong relationships with their teammates and with our coaches. And, you know, we're thrilled when they come back to visit, especially when they're bringing their kids back to DCA. I'm so fortunate that we have 3 of our former players now teaching and coaching at DCA. So that just means the world to me that they want to come back and work with us now. They like it better on this side, I will say that. But really, the greatest highlight for me has been able to share this, my life's work, with my family. Like you said, my kids, the only school they've ever went to was DCA from K through 12. My son played football for me. My daughters were managers for me. My wife's been a great supporter. She drug our kids all over the state, going to games from Oneida to Memphis, and so I wouldn't take anything for that experience.
Coach, Murphy mentioned the importance of your game this week with Friendship Christian. What's going to be important to you and your team, or what are you going to need to do to come away with a win and possibly another regional title?
Well, Friendship is, they have a huge offensive line. They have some explosive players on offense, and to me, what I've seen them do is get the ball and you don't get it back. And so for us, limited their time of possession, so we can have some time with the ball and try to keep it away from them. So to me, that's a key for us to have any chance, and obviously turnovers is always a huge factor.
Coach, almost any time I talk to anyone in your profession and ask about what has made this season so special, when it applies, most coaches want to talk about their seniors and the leadership that they provide. And I would imagine you've got some good senior leaders this year at DCA.
We really do, Murphy. As every year we tell our seniors, look, this is your team. This is your team, and we want you to take charge of it and set the tone. We have 8 seniors this year, and they're just great young men to start with, and we're really proud of them and their leadership. We have 3 that have been elected captains by their teammates, and they have just led us in the weight room all summer, on the practice field, in the locker room, and on the game field. So we're proud of those 3 guys. I want to mention one is Shannon Fain. Shannon is our leading rusher. He's our leading scorer. He's one of our leading tacklers. He's everything you want in a player.
Do you let him coach on the field sometimes?
Well, you know what? He and I had a meeting, and he told me he was going to handle a lot of things for me. So I bring that back up to him occasionally. And but he is everything. He has intensity. He has desire, and he really cares. And he's just I'm so proud of him. And he's a 4-year starter for us.
Wow.
The other young man is DeJuan Bowie. DeJuan is a wide receiver, DB, who is he is our emotional leader and vocal leader, and he brings a lot of energy. He gets us lined up on defense, and he's just a joy to be around. And the other young man is one of our teacher's sons, Jacob Birdie, who has been at DCA for since kindergarten. And so I've seen him grow up. I was in his dad's wedding, and so now he's playing for me as a senior. And he's not quite as vocal, but he is great with our young kids. And those 3 young men have just I'm so proud of them and their character and their leadership for us this year.
Coach, you mentioned Friendship Christian. Then after that, you're at Davidson Academy.
Right.
There's a lot of football to be played before we start talking playoffs.
Oh yeah. We've got a long ways to go, and it's hard to believe it's week 8 for us, but we've got a long ways to go, and some quality teams still ahead of us.
Coach, we haven't talked about your staff, but that's been a pretty steady thing through a lot of your years there.
Well, it has, and we've lost a couple long-term coaches just a couple years ago, but I've got, like I said, we got 3 guys that have played for me and now back coaching with us, and we have 2 of the finest non-faculty coaches, I think, in the state, and we have a great cohesive group, and you know, team chemistry is important, but coaching chemistry is just as important for a program, and so I've been blessed with great coaches, no doubt.
Small single-A high schools, private high schools, kind of dot the landscape in and around Nashville. In your, I'm going to give you a free commercial here. What sets DCA apart from all the rest of them, do you think?
We are a great community. We are a great family atmosphere. We are a great academic institution, but beyond academics, beyond athletics, is just that feel of family. When we have a crisis on our campus of a family or an incident, our community steps up. And when we were involved in the flood, one of the proudest moments ever, we had a work day and had over 500 people show up on our campus. And so, and our alumni, it's just that family feel that really gives me goosebumps right now talking about it. And it's been great for me and my family.
I know Dennis came from Bristol, had an opportunity to play in the Castle.
That's right.
And if you've never been to Bristol and checked out Tennessee High School's facility, you need to do so, because it's, in my opinion, it's one of the 4 or 5 most special places in the state.
It's definitely one of a kind, and it's a treasure for sure.
Dennis Goodwin, head football coach at Donaldson Christian Academy. They've got a couple of big games this week.
Right.
Playoff bound, I think, without a doubt, but nonetheless, the regular season, still some really good action left for the blue and gold Wildcats out there just off of Highway 70. Dennis, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
We're going to take another break here, look at some more polls and some more highlights. We're going to look at MBA versus Brentwood Academy. This one got pretty one-sided pretty quick, but the Eagles of BA prevailed, and now the #1 team in the state, Division II AA. This is a high school sports page brought to you by the Burns Insurance Group. We'll be right back.